Gee, how do you follow that, right? Hey, my name's Luke. Good afternoon, everyone. I feel privileged to be here with you this afternoon. And I just wanted to share a little bit about my experience and my story with CRU's ministry. I grew up near Hornsby, going to St. Stephen's Anglican Church in Normanhurst. I feel immensely blessed and really thankful to have grown up in a Christian family and understand Jesus' love for me from when I was very young. But when I was younger, I was really rubbish at showing it, and especially terrible at telling my mates about what I believed. My journey with CRU started back in the spring of 2016. My Sunday school teacher in years 7 and 8 was Callum Henderson, who is now the director of CRU Holiday Camps and was narrating that video we just saw. And when I was in year 9, he asked me to join the leadership team for a day camp that he was directing called Spring into Action as a junior leader. It was heaps of fun, so I kept on leading on various camps that Callum directed. Fast forward to year 11, and I met a bloke named Sam, who was a CRU Summit trainee working with our school camps division. He was leading on a camp that I was also leading on called CRU Bolt, and he told me about the traineeship. I figured that since it was what I was volunteering in my spare time to do, it seemed like a pretty great full-time and paid gig. And within the first 2 weeks of my traineeship, I knew that there was something special about the community and team that we had in the school camps team. I felt loved for and cared for, but most importantly, I felt spurred on by my peers to develop my ability to share the good news of Jesus with kids that we were meeting on camp. So here I am in my 4th year working with CRU, sharing Jesus with young people from all over Sydney and beyond, who may not have been as blessed as I was to know the love of Jesus as young people. It's really tricky to be a young person nowadays, and especially a young Christian. Now more than ever, young people are told that they can do and have anything that they could ever think about, but are crippled by the fear of being isolated or being different from their mates. One of the things that I love and cherish about camping ministry and what I get to do each week is the opportunity to help give security to students who feel very out of place and unsure of themselves. And in that space, share the good news of Jesus with them. There are 2 campers who particularly come to mind from my time at Summit, and I met them both on the same holiday camp that I directed in the winter holidays last year. And I think that these 2 stories perfectly demonstrate the great impact that CRU and the gospel has on young people. Brendan became a Christian for the first time on this camp because he saw a real and tangible difference that Jesus made within the Christian community that had been built and he'd been a part of that week. Since then, he's been back on more CRU camps and is super excited to join a church youth group this year. The other camper was a girl named Charlize. Now, Charlize was a Christian before coming on camp, but had never been on a CRU camp before. On the last day of camp, she shared that she loved being on camp for a couple of reasons. 1, it was lots of fun. 2, in the same way to Brandon, she had felt loved for and cared for in that Christian community that we made during the week. But the key thing she loved was that her leaders helped equip her to become more fearless in her own faith and start sharing it with her friends. I can honestly say that have nowhere near the ability or the confidence to share my faith with young people if I hadn't spent the last 3 years being trained for ministry at Summit, and also practically using those skills to share the good news of Jesus' sacrifice on the cross. I now feel a deep passion to tell my own mates and other people I meet about my faith and why Jesus is such great news for the world. Please pray that I'd be able to do this with a fearless heart. Thank you.